I am from beyond. Listen, and all you desire will be yours. Welcome to Spider-Dan and the Secret Balls. Prepare for Prattle. Shockphobia Fest.
Welcome to Prattle World. I'm your host, the ever-amazing, ever-spectacular Spider-Dan. And in this podcast, I spotlight entertainment's best-kept secrets that a mainstream audience may find boring. And welcome to another edition of Secret Ball Stories, where I invite my guests to count down a personal top 5 list in high-fidelity fashion. And we've got a corker for you today. Welcome to the very first of Shockphobia Fest. Oh, we've got a good one today. We are counting down our top 5 Scream Queens with our very own Scream Queen, Roisin McCusker. How are you?
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm good.
So I brought you on because you are a huge fan of the horror genre.
Yes.
And you're a huge fan of Scream Queens in general. Mm-hmm. And you're a bit of a Scream Queen yourself.
Yeah, I'd love to have a career in just horror films. As an actor, I think if I could just do that for the rest of my life, I'd be very happy.
And plus you could do every convention under the sun and they would have you. What a great day that would be. It's like, yeah. I love you in this, I love you in that. The bit where the blood fell on your face was amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's a really kind of untapped genre, I think. But I feel like nowadays it's kind of coming around and we've got like horror conventions in Manchester all over, up and down.
Yeah, I'm going to For the Love of Horror in a couple of weeks. It's my first time at horror convention, but I'm just so excited.
It looks like a good one. My friend Dan Burgess, who's a guest, he's
the photographer.
Yes. Oh, you know Dan, don't you? Yeah, we did a play, and Dan came to take lovely photos of us in our Western garb, wasn't it? We're all with our cowboy hats and stuff. You look great in those photos, actually.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
Oh well, thank you. I do all right. I'm very Amish. I've got the Amish kind of look going on. The underbeard, kind of the Abe Lincoln look. So, Roisin, some people might not know what a Scream Queen is.
Right.
Would you like to tell people what the definition of a Scream Queen is?
So, the Wikipedia's definition is a Scream Queen is an actress who has become associated with horror films, either through an appearance in a notable entry in the genre or recurring roles in the genre.
I think that's pretty good. I think it's a little bit of a play on the Scream Queens, isn't it? Like the old style, you know, the female actors, the lead female actors of the kind of the golden age of kind of cinema and stuff.
Yeah, and silent movies and
exactly, and that sort of stuff. So you've got 5. Mm-hmm. I've got 5.
Yes.
Should we get started?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. How do you want to do that?
You are the guest, so I always like the guest to go first. So who is your first one?
Right, well, it was so difficult because I've got so many favourites, but what I decided to go with are Scream Queens that I've maybe grown up watching, that just kind of ring true to that. Yeah, that kind title.
You feel they encapsulate that role.
For me, personally.
For you personally.
People may disagree, but this is just me.
We like a good discussion here, so I'm sure people will leave their comments and stuff saying how they feel, but I'm really interested. Who is your first one?
So all my top 5 are in no particular order, but this one, I first actually saw her in films rather than probably her most famous role, but my first Scream Queen is Sarah Michelle Gellar.
What a great shout.
Yeah.
Amazing, yeah.
Because people obviously know her as Buffy.
Yeah.
Which she's brilliant in, but the things I saw her in first was I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream 2, and then as I got a bit older, there was The Grudge.
Yeah,
franchise.
The Grudge is so good.
Yeah, it's a remake, isn't it? But I think they did really well with it, with The Grudge and with The Ring. I think the America managed to do a good job.
I think they got the gist of it at the very least. I mean, they're creepy films anyway. I think no matter what you do, you know, these weird kind of ghost children, they're creepy in any language that you put them in, no matter what you do.
I know so many people that are like, it's just, I can't, if I want to watch a horror film with them, they're like, are there any ghost little girls in it? And I think there's a ghost little girl.
Creepy kids, yeah.
Ghost child, they're like, no, not watching it.
No.
And it's just like, that just scares the pants off some people.
I really remember The Grudge because there was a really good moment where she's, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's on the bus, she's in the arms of a boyfriend, she's like...
everything's safe,
everything's
it's daylight.
Cool, yeah, and then she's looking out the window, like, everything's okay, and then it's like, there's like a little ghost kid.
It's the reflection. Yeah. She focuses on the reflection, and it
just comes out.
Yeah,
brilliant.
They've got some good scares in that one. Like the woman who, bless her, she's being terrorised, and she runs home and she gets to her apartment. It's all meant to be safe. She gets into bed, and you do that thing where you tuck your feet under the duvet, and then all of a sudden she's like, "There's something in the bed with me," and she looks up, and that's the little.
Oh God!
Well, it's not the little boy; it's the woman. But it's a spooky ghost story, really, isn't it?
I think it's the noises for me that they make.
Yeah,
I'd
never heard them use that kind of sound effect.
Guttural. There's that guttural kind of. It's very much like an Amy Rome type thing. One of our tutors that we had in uni was she was very Alfred Wolfson, wasn't it?
Yes.
Whatever she used to teach us. And the meowing as well from the kids.
Yeah, why?
So freaking. Anyway, we're going off topic. Let's talk about Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
So what is it about Sarah Michelle Gellar which you feel encapsulates being a scream queen?
I think because of her filmography and being in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which was such an iconic film anyway, and then going into that series, it was just brilliant. It really put her kind of on the map, didn't it?
Yeah, in a way, Buffy's like a kind of, it's like shaking up the horror genre because there's the stereotypical, the blonde cheerleader dies.
She always gets killed first.
Yeah, like straight away. Yeah. It's like the most beautiful one. And
this is it. I think this is why I like her so much, is she does kick ass. Like, I know what he did last summer. She puts up a good fight with the fish hook.
Yeah, the fish hook guy,
the fisherman killer.
Is that what he's called? The fisherman killer? The fisherman. Oh no.
The raincoat.
The raincoated fisherman.
In Scream 2, she puts a really good fight up. I think that's the scene that they take the mick out in Scary Movie, Joe, when she's running up the stairs and she's throwing like a bike down the stairs.
She's throwing everything down.
She's launching stuff at him.
Don't go up the stairs, bitch.
No. Yeah, she just kicks ass. She's great.
She ended up out the window, I think. She
goes out the window, unfortunately.
I really like her because she's got like a bit of wit as well. There's like humour to her portrayal of all the characters she's played.
Yeah. She knows what she's doing, and I think there's little nods in her performances to the bimbos that have been killed very early on in the films. And I just want to say as well, she was also in Scooby-Doo, wasn't she?
She was.
She got mentioned for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she screamed in that at least once.
Yeah, she did.
I mean,
There's Daphne.
But again, very kick-ass as well.
So I think she's a good one.
I think that's one of the things I've looked for in my Scream Queens is that vulnerability. Yeah. Yet also that strength.
Yeah, because the thing that you associate with horror and Scream Queens is that the final girl.
Yeah.
Women have always kind of come out on top in the majority of the films in the horror genre, by massive percentage, and I just think that's really cool.
Yeah,
women can outsmart the bad guy, beat the bad guy, and
and I think that's what's so great about these Scream Queens is they are feminist icons in their we've got, Sigourney Weaver comes back every so often. We've got, Linda Hamilton's back this year in Terminator. Yeah. And it's an all-female, cast pretty much, minus Arnie, minus the Terminators, they're all, female characters and stuff. But yeah, it's great. And I think she's one of my favourite actors, full stop. That's my alarm going off for work. I forgot to turn it off. I'm late. I'm back. Got to be back from my break now. So I think she's an incredible talent in Buffy. And there's bits in Buffy like when I think there's a Halloween episode where she becomes like a ditzy, a timid kind of, I think she's a maid or something.
Yeah, she can't help herself,
And she, again, she's great. And she's got such a kind of well-rounded wit, strength, and vulnerability that is required in these genre films. I think, I saw those films again before Buffy as well, because I was probably way too young to watch them again. But it's what you do. I used to love them and really dig them. And that was my first kind of introduction to her before she turned it around with Buffy and became this kind of warrior princess, if you will. So is there anything else you want to say about Sarah Michelle Gellar? Is anything?
Well, I think I'll probably say this for all of them as well. Is that she's just a great actress.
Oh yeah, I
think it really helps. Like the amount of movies, like I'll watch any kind of horror movie. I love like a B-movie horror, and there are
you're on the right show then. Yeah. It's pretty much all I do.
And there are a few that you just kind of think, if they would just cast someone a little bit stronger, this film could have been brilliant, or this because the script was so good, etc. And just all these actresses are just fantastic.
They are good. They are good. Right. Well, maybe I should go on to my first one. So this one is, I want to go for someone like, I know you've gone for ones that are like more kind of, my coffee's going cold, isn't it? I forgot about that. Talking too much. Anyway, so you've been talking about the ones that kind of made a difference to you, like when you were younger. So I've decided to go. I'm going outside of my comfort zone, try to explore a bit more kind of modern scream queens. So I've gone for Abigail Breslin.
Ooh.
So she was in Haunter, Zombieland, and Final Girl. Two of those I think are available currently on Amazon. If you want to go watch them, and she's also the star of the TV show Scream Queens. There you go.
Yeah.
With Jamie Lee Curtis, the ultimate Scream Queen. I kind of chose her because her frame is quite small. And she's blonde.
Looks young.
She's Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah,
she's Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah,
so
child actress.
Exactly, and she's grown up kind of with us over the years, a bit like a Jamie Lee Curtis. We've seen her kind of grow into her kind of talent and her ability, and everything. But again, like you said, she still has this innocence, and I think that's quite important in these. Again, she's quite young, so she plays a lot of these young roles. Haunter's quite interesting because it's a film where she knows she's dead, and she's trying to communicate with the living to stop another murder from happening.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of like a reverse kind of ghost story.
Yeah, because usually you'd see
the
someone's
living
being haunted.
Yeah, the living are
what are you trying to tell me?
Tell me! But it's the same thing, but it's the same, tropes and everything for that, but it's the ghost trying to communicate with the living. So it's quite interesting. It's by the guy who did The Cube and Splice, the director of those. So it's a little art housey, but it's pretty cool. I think, something that Natali maybe, something like that.
Oh, right, okay.
Don't know his name off the top of my head.
That slipped my mind.
Something like that. But I think she's really cool. And Final Girl's really interesting because...
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
I watched that on, I think it was Amazon Prime or something.
Yeah, I think it is
like
on there somewhere.
I did not see where it was going, to be honest, at first. I was like, so is this revenge or is it, what's the purpose here?
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and she kicks a lot of ass in that as well.
So the story is that she's kind of prepared from a young age to kill this group of boys that are kind of abusing and murdering young women. The person who trains her, is kind of, I think it has suffered a loss through them.
Yeah, I think it was his daughter or
something like that, probably.
Yeah, so she's trained since she's like, 6 or something?
Yeah, probably, maybe younger.
Learn to fight, and it reminded me a lot of Kick-Ass with like Chloe Moretz
and Nicolas
Cage.
They're like Hit Girl,
training her up to be Hit Girl.
Yeah.
But no, it was interesting. It was... Yeah, I'd not kind of seen that concept before.
Again, it's another kind of spin on that genre. I think those are kind of the more interesting ones.
It's like original ideas. A world of remakes.
Exactly. And I think like though the actors we've picked for this, like some of them are like they've at least played kind of the Final Girl once, I believe. I think depending, I don't know on your list, but I know mine. Definitely. They've at least played a Final Girl once because I think you have to at least play them once, but they're not necessarily. They'll come back to horror movies and not play that role again necessarily. So I do quite like that. So I think she's great.
She was in a film. I don't know if you've seen it called Fear Inc.
No. Is it good?
This is really good. And my favourite bit is like this right at the end, so I can't even tell you.
Oh no!
I really want you to watch it.
Is she the lead in it? Or?
She's not. She's the. Oh, I can't even tell you.
It's just going to be spoilers. No, I've got to watch it now.
Yeah, you've got to watch it.
Right. Okay, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, there's a little one. Well, the cast I knew from kind of like indie films.
Yeah.
And then when I saw her, I was like, "Is that Abigail Breslin?"
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know she was in this film. Why haven't I heard about this? And there's a reason.
Okay. I'm interested now. I'm intrigued.
Fear Inc.
So I think I went to look for that, but I didn't see her in a kind of big enough role. I was like, I was like, I don't know if this is the right one.
So
to kind of
little little Drew Barrymore kind of role going on there.
All right,
just leave it at that.
Interesting. Okay, that's cool. I'll definitely have a look at that. But I think her innocence and her frame again, like, it makes you kind of, you're more worried for her, more concerned.
Yeah. You want her to get out of it.
Because you again, it's Little Miss Sunshine. You're just like, I just want to look after Little Miss Sunshine.
No.
But she doesn't need looking after. Clearly, in these movies, she's again. But I think the fact that she can play so much on that vulnerability, makes her as a scream queen, and that kind of successful
you
turn around
get to
at the
see
end.
like the character arc and the growth, and she may start off weak, but then by the end of it, she's like,
you've seen it. Yeah, exactly. You've seen the well, even with Final Girl, you don't want to mess with it from the start, really.
Yeah, basically, it's always the bookish one, and like, the
virgin, that
there's a
typical.
great bit in Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah,
where Sigourney Weaver's kind of explaining the archetypes of the five. So you've got the jock, the blonde, busty blonde. I can't remember what she calls her actually. I don't think she's like the slag.
There's usually a bitch, isn't there?
Like that. The stoner, the joker, and then the virgin, and the main girl's like, virgin? And Sigourney Weaver's like, we had to work.
He'll do. Yeah, exactly. So that's that thing. But I think she's really cool. I think as a modern Scream Queen, she's kind of up there with kind of everybody else, and the fact that she's in the Scream Queen show, which is obviously a nice kind of play and. Kind of, I'm not seeing it. I've heard very good things.
I'm not going to lie, I'm a massive fan of Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk and the series they create. I think they're really rapidly changing television at the minute, and for the best. Like, I love American Horror Story, and then there's like the O.J. Simpson case and the Versace story. Scream Queens, I wasn't massively impressed with. I think maybe it was aimed at a younger audience, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I was just, I was just thought, kind of seen this done before a little bit. Maybe this is for like a younger audience, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I'll give it a go. I'll definitely give it a go. My friend...
it's fun, it's campy, it's like, It's
a bit silly. But I think she's good, and I'll definitely check out Fear Inc. and maybe Scream Queens as well. We'll see. So, let's move on to the next one. What is your number 4?
Oh, I don't know who to put. I'm going to go with, tell you what, I'll go with Catherine Isabelle.
Okay.
So this is an actress that I first saw in Goosebumps.
Of course.
When we were really little. I think she was in the episode where...
Oh, in the show, the TV show.
Yeah, the TV show. Okay. I think she was in the episode where there was like an evil sponge or something.
Of course, yeah.
Under the sink.
Standard. I've got one of those.
And I think the premise was that it grows from fear. Yeah, I think it absorbs your fear and gets even more powerful. And by the end, I think they just discover that, and then they just go, "You're nothing but a sponge." And it goes,
"I am a sponge.
I am a sponge," and then it just dies. And she keeps it as a pet or something weird like that.
Yeah, Goosebumps did usually have like a twist ending.
Yeah. It used to terrify me when I was a kid. Goosebumps. I used to love it, but I used to
like. Did you ever see Eerie, Indiana? Did you ever see that? That was like a really weird kind of one. I think it only had like one series or something, but it was kind of like...
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a cult TV show now.
Eerie, Indiana.
Yeah. It was kind of something a bit different. But there was Are You Afraid of the Dark as well. I think that's just about to have a comeback,
yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
having a comeback, which I just saw, which is one of the actors out of the It reboot is in. I spotted him. But yeah, they are kind of remaking everything.
Oh, I think I saw the trailer actually. Is it Ben? Is it Ben in It? I think it might be...
The one who made the new kids.
Yeah. The one who gets cut up. Yeah.
It's brutal.
Oh, it is horrible.
I watched it the other day with my sister, and she was like, "It's not real though, is it?" I was like, "Of course it's not." But
tell me more about it, because I don't really know
Isabelle. So I saw her in Goosebumps, and then probably a most famous role in my eyes is Ginger Snaps, the Ginger Snaps franchise.
Oh yes,
the redhead sister.
Oh
yeah,
it was Ginger.
Ginger. Redhead Snaps.
Redhead Snaps. Those fiery redhead snaps.
But I thought that was a brilliant. It was like an indie film.
So
it's like
good.
so low budget. It was fantastic. I think
so well done.
Oh, it's not Jeremy's sister. I can't remember the actor's name.
I know what you mean. He looks a bit
exactly
like it. Yeah.
Jeremy's sister.
It's like a younger Jeremy's sister. Yeah.
It's kind of filmed almost like it was made in the 80s, but it wasn't. It's just really cool.
It does have that retro werewolf feel, like The Howling or American Werewolf in London, that sort of thing. Yeah.
But I just thought she was fantastic in that, and she's a victim and the villain at the same time,
which is great as well.
Which is really cool. Yeah. So that film was so successful as an indie film. It ended up up spawning a prequel and a sequel, which she played Ginger in all three of them.
Really? So she's in all of them?
Yeah, so it's done really well. She was also in, I just think we've got to mention this movie because it's ridiculous, Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh yeah.
Which apparently has like one of the worst quotes, the worst lines in movie history. And then there's a lad in school and he goes, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Do you know why they sing that? Because that's when he comes for you. You're like, what?
Yeah. We get that from the song. The lyrics.
Worst line. Like, ooh.
They're like, improv something now. Do it. You know what they say there? That does sound pretty bad. I can't remember it that well, but I remember the pinball bit where he's like he's throwing like Jason around. He's like ding 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 ding.
Yeah, and Kelly Rowland's in it, and it's just so random. Like, how did that film ever get made? I'd love to know. Like, it was like, yes, I want to see that. I mean, they did. Yeah.
Everybody wanted to see that, I think. Yeah. But I think that's why it got made. But yeah, I don't know how good it is. I can't really remember. But I love Ginger Snaps. Again, it's another one of those films that has like puberty as lycanthropy, you know, as werewolfism is a fantastic idea. And they're kind of, you know, they're like, you're growing hair in strange places. It was like, it's puberty. It's not, I've not been bitten by a werewolf.
It's ace.
And and also like werewolfism as a sexually transmitted disease as well. Yeah. Which I was like, this is really interesting.
They kind of followed, like, do you know, with It Follows? Or
yes.
It Follows? They did that with a kind of,
similar thing.
Is it a sexually transmitted disease? Like, even though it's a monster that comes and kills you. But no, it was probably one of the first films that kind of did that.
Yeah. Really. I think it's great, and again, it's like you know, full main female cast. You know, there is obviously male characters in it, but you know,
it's ace.
And it was just like you said, and again, like it's a scream queen who becomes the villain of the piece.
But she's done this a couple of times actually, because there's another film, American Mary, which I watched with her in it. Again, quite low budget, and I think you could kind of just say it's a revenge story. She's brutally kind of attacked at a very weird part that
Is she like a med student or something?
Yeah, she's a med student. I think her lecturer / boss, doctor, kind of invites her to this party, and she ends up getting just treated awfully. Yeah. And so she plans revenge, and she just becomes, this villain again.
Killer, I think she does have that look about her. She has that
she
kind
could
of
switch.
Yeah, she could be like,
I think she's gorgeous as well. I don't think there's any other actresses that look like Catherine Isabelle.
Yeah, she's got a very unique look. Like the second you said Ginger Snaps, I was like, yes, I know who you're talking about. It's just the name. I was like, oh, what's that? I was like, I'm sure I've heard that, and I was like, no. But I think if you're gonna watch anything, I definitely watch Ginger Snaps.
Definitely recommend.
And then maybe like, you know,
just even the opening sequence when it's their art project.
Yeah,
because you think, oh, this is really weird. Like, are they dead? And then it's like, oh no, all the different ways you could be murdered.
Yeah, they're like through the picket fence, aren't they? Like stabbed through the picket fence. So good, such a good movie.
It's great. I loved it.
Like if any goth girls, it would be the goth girl movie.
I think that and The Craft.
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, The Craft.
I love The Craft. They're remaking The Craft.
I know.
They're remaking it, and I don't know. I hope it's good.
We'll see. Okay, so that was your number 4. So I'm gonna rock on to my number 4. Something has gone wrong with my notes. No, it's back. It's back. There's certain kind of horror actors that are really kind of doggedly protective of the genre and kind of are doggedly protective of the fans and respect the work and respect them. I think a lot of actors will do a horror film to kind of raise their profile and move on. They're like, it's trash. It's rubbish trash that I don't want to be part of anymore. But then there's certain actors that literally are in it because they love it. They enjoy it. It's a challenge. It's, you know, it's physically kind of, you have to exert yourself mentally and physically. Yeah,
it's just a thing that I think the horror genre is always just kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word really. They don't
stepping stone.
Yeah, they don't like, I think they kind of, it's like there's no horror films until Get Out, Jordan Peele's Get Out, rarely ever nominated for awards.
Oscars
I think
and
obviously
stuff,
like The Exorcist was nominated in the 70s, but then Yeah, they just kind of are all painted with this brush. Like, it's not serious.
It's trashy, low budget.
It's just,
And I think that's not fair. And I think there's a couple of actors on my list who really are like, this is for me. This is amazing. I'm going to stick with this.
Great.
And I've chosen Barbara Crampton.
Yes! She's on my special mentions.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Barbara Crampton, I think, is amazing. She's known for Reanimator, which is one of my favourite films.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Castle Freak with her in recently, which is another weird and wacky one. And I also watched Chopping Mall again.
Chopping Mall.
Which I think it's just cheesy goodness. But I think she's fantastic. Again, she's still working in horror films now.
Yeah, she did Your Next.
Yeah, Your Next.
We were never really...
I
always get this film title mixed up. Like, we're never really here, we never really left, or they're still here.
They were never really there, or who am I? Where's this going? It could be any of those titles. I think she did one recently, Beyond the Gates. She's currently actually remaking Castle Freak at the moment.
Amazing.
So, and apparently they're going to kind of expand on the kind of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. I tweeted her. She tweeted me back about watching Chopping Mall. I was like, she's cool. She doesn't look like she's aged a day.
No, it's weird.
It's really like...
It's bizarre. I don't know how old she is, to be honest.
No,
I think obviously
maybe she died and she's still haunting us. But yeah, I think she's really likeable. She's fun.
She is. She's just nice, and apparently, like, everyone just says that she's amazing to work with, and she just seems like
she seems like the loveliest person. And I think she's got a lot of charm to her as well, a lot of charisma. And again, it could just be like, I'm going to scream, I'm going to do this, and that's the job. But no, she injects so much character and kind of relatability, and in Castle Freak she's this kind of estranged wife. In Chopping Mall she's this kind of ditzy blonde who wants to get laid, and that's fine, that's a good thing. And she's kind of like dude man and all that sort of stuff. Reanimator, she's a med student. She's got such a range of stuff. She's been in so many of the franchises as well, like Puppet Master. She's in. Her name is dotted all over the show, and she's just phenomenal talent, and again, a lot of vulnerability, but also a lot of strength as well. And she'll probably go down in history for being the only woman in cinema history to have a severed head go down on her as well. I don't think that's ever going to happen again in cinema. No. So, for better or for worse, that's probably what she's going to be known for.
On a tombstone.
I'm just going to write it there. I was in Reanimator. Yeah, I did that bit.
Yeah, that was me.
But yeah, I think she's fantastic. She's very kind of acted on social media, and I think that really helps. She's got a whole...
I think she's working on an anthology movie that's coming out as well. Was it December or something? I can't remember. She does a lot of smaller short films as well, and I'm just like, that's cool. Like when I see big actors still getting involved in like little short films and
helping out
projects, passion projects, and helping, and just being up for it.
Yeah, she's great.
Your Next was great. If you've seen that.
Killers. Yeah.
I think she's not one of the first
to go. I think she's is she kind of a bit more of a kind of villainous role in that?
No, so she's one of the innocent ones, bless her. Her, the mum and dad. I don't want to give any spoilers away for people who haven't seen it, but the mum and dad are innocent in this, and that's all I'll say. They just wanted a nice Thanksgiving family.
Let's just have a meal. But I kind of in the way of kind of the acting industry, I think she's like a proper survivor. I think she's like she's gone through all these kind of genre movies, these B movies, but she's still doing them and she's still going for it, even at she must be into her 50s now.
I know, but I don't want to. No, I don't want to call her a relic. No. But,
she's antique.
She's just been in the game
for
iconic, so long. She's iconic. Yeah,
I think that's the best word, and we hope she keeps doing more stuff because she's great. That was my number 4. So moving on to your top 3.
Again, these are in no particular order, but it's just, I think, I'm going to go with Sigourney. Sigourney Weaver. Yes. I had to say Sigourney because obviously the Alien franchise, Ghostbusters, Copycat. Have you seen Copycat before?
No.
This was a film that my mum introduced me to where a string of murders are starting to come out, and I think it's in LA, and they're all mimicking like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
John Wayne Gacy, I think maybe Son of Sam, and
Bundy, all that sort of stuff,
and Sigourney Weaver's brought in because she's wrote a book about serial killers basically, is going on, why they do what they do. And she's brought in with the police, which is Helen Hunter. Is it Helen Hunter? Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter could be.
The mum out of Incredibles.
Yes, Holly Hunter,
Yeah, she's playing the police officer in that. And it's just great. It's really good.
Yeah, really another one I'll have to add to the massive list I already have.
The Village, she's in Cabin in the Woods at the end, obviously. And she just kind of, I think I loved Cabin in the Woods anyway, because you've never seen a film like that, and they're going, yes, we're taking the mick out of the
tropes and the things of the genre.
Film. Yeah. And so she is kind of laughing at herself during the film, and I just really like that about her. And obviously the Alien franchise, that was just terrifying for me. Because I would say, because people would say, oh no, it's a sci-fi film, and I'm like,
oh, it's horror. It's horror.
That's terrifying. It was, when I was a child
it's
watching...
sci-fi. It's definitely sci-fi horror.
Definitely. So I say we could say she's a scream queen. Obviously Ghostbusters as well, showing she could do comedy. She's just a fan.
I mean, she still screams in that. So, I mean, some of the bits are quite scary in Ghostbusters, I really like her. I think, I find it really interesting that her part in Alien was originally a man's part. And obviously it was written for a man. But she played it as a woman. I think that was quite game changing. I think the fact that someone could just rock up and they go, oh, because I think the other character in it who is a woman, she's quite hysterical. She's constantly screaming and worrying and stuff. And that's her part. But it was interesting to see that strong kind of reserved, female character in such a kind of big kind of, and that only gets expanded upon in the following film where she's like, post-traumatic stress, she's like having nightmares. She's
brilliant, because that's similar to in Copycat, because something happens to her in the beginning of the film which almost kills her, and so she gets I always get this mixed up because it's agoraphobia and agoraphobia. Okay. And the one where you can't leave your house.
I think it's agoraphobia. I believe it's agoraphobia.
Or agoraphobia. I've had this conversation recently. But
I'm going to go agra.
Yeah, and she can't leave a house, but she needs to help the police to deal, there's no way. Women and young men are getting killed. Yeah. That she has to go through that trauma, that post-traumatic stress, and fight through that. But
and again, it's that vulnerability and kind of, and slowly getting braver throughout the film, and then confronting those kind of demons.
That is definitely the final girl kind of journey.
I think she's probably in I think Sigourney Weaver would easily in everybody's top 3 anyway. I think I'm trying to go for a little bit more obscure ones because that's what this show's all about. But I think everyone would say, way up there. If not number 1, she would at least be in the top 3, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
And she's, what more can we say about her? She's just brilliant.
Yeah.
At everything.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I think as well, with the, just to add on that, Alien must be a horror. The scene with John Hurt, with the...
It's definitely a horror. Who's been telling you it's not a horror?
It's like, oh no, it's sci-fi. It's not.
You can mix genres.
Yeah, I've got that horror comedies. Yeah. But it's
Evil Dead. Is a horror. Evil Dead 2 is a horror comedy. You can mix the genres. It's definitely horror.
Oh, she's definitely an up and coming scream queen, I will say as well. During the remake of Evil Dead.
She's a redhead, isn't she?
Yeah, we'll find it out for later on.
I'm sure we'll Google it. We'll Google it. But I think everybody would agree that Sigourney is probably one of the best quintessential, feminine characters. And I don't think the Alien franchise has necessarily recovered from her leaving, really.
No,
it's all been pretty rubbish.
Prometheus is okay.
Oh, gosh. Even that's a push for me, saying it's okay. I'm like, oh, God. I've watched it twice as well. I still hate it. But I thought Covenant was better. But even that wasn't great. But, I have a kind of soft spot for Alien 4, a little bit.
Is that the one with the cat?
No, that's the one where they kind of clone her back to life.
Oh yeah,
and then she's
like a weird. I know which one.
And there's that scene where there's all the imperfect clones, and they're like, kill me, and she burns them all. Yeah. It's amazing. It's
she's crying, and she's like, I'm sorry.
Why did they do this?
Oh, Jane Levy, that's who.
Jane Levy,
that's the name in Evil Dead and Don't Breathe. Joe, the one with the
Oh, it's the blind
Home
man.
invasion
It's the
goes
blind
wrong.
man.
Yeah, the blind man.
It's Stephen Lang, is it? I think. Yeah, and they're like, they're doing a sequel to that as well.
I think they are. Yeah, I think they're doing that and that.
Don't breathe again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I think that's
cool. That's cool.
Mention.
Anything else you want to say about Sigourney, or any other things you want to mention?
I'm just trying to think what else I've seen. No.
I think she's got a filmography as long as both of our arms.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So she's done a lot and so many varied roles.
I think she's just another, like you were saying about Barbara Crampton, who's like not shying away from the genre.
No.
It's not going to turn their nose up at it. I think Sigourney's one of those actors, like, hey, if the script's good, if it sounds fun, I'm going to do it.
I really liked do you know that Neil Blomkamp was going to do a sequel, but then they decided to do Prometheus instead.
Yeah.
And it was like they were going to ignore Alien 3 and come right off of Aliens. And it was the same characters, but it'd been like, I think their freezing pods or their hibernation chambers, whatever they call them, we're gonna fail. So they've actually aged in like real time.
Oh,
so they come out. And that's why they look a lot older.
Oh, that makes sense.
But actually, they're still, they're young. I'm still youthful. Still 86 or 2086 or whatever year it was. But yeah, no, really, really good choice. I think fantastic. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that one. Right, so I'm going to go with.
Drum roll.
Where the hell have they gone? I think I've accidentally deleted my notes.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, great.
Well, another word, with Barbara Crampton.
I did accidentally delete it.
With Barbara Crampton, I was going to mention, like as a special mention, is just the cast of Your Next, because you've got so many up-and-coming screen queens here that they all tend to work with each other, actually. But Amy Seimetz is in Your Next. She plays the sister. She's like, I can run to the car. I can do it. Let me do it for once. And then gets, but yeah, she's just been in the remake of Pet Sematary.
Cool.
Which was...
No?
The thing is, I liked it. I enjoyed it. But I just don't find it believable when, like, a little girl is throwing what's his name? Harry and the Hendersons. It's completely gone out of my mind.
Oh, John Lithgow.
Lithgow, yeah. Like 6-year-old girls, like, nailing John Lithgow, throwing him down the stairs, like, stabbing him. I'm like, it's just not believable for me. But yeah, but it's better that they changed it to the older child.
Yeah.
In the original, it's like
it's
a 2-year-old.
But I kind of like that, though. It's so creepy.
Well, the thing that's creeped me out in the original of... Pet Sematary was the weird sister that lived in the attic that was dead, bone thin, and she's like, why did you leave me? Like,
it's like
she's so creepy.
It's got like a horrible
like
spine
thing.
disease or something, something, and they can't treat her.
I remember watching it when I was like, I must have been like 10, 11. And I was like, this film's a bit meh. And then I saw her and I was like, oh my god, what is that?
That's and like that's like, I think that is like a real disease as well. I don't think it's like a fake disease. I was just like, oh god, this is
Jesus.
This is horrible. Sometimes dead is better. So that's what I say to that. But I'm going to move on to my number 3.
You found it?
Yeah, I found it. I did delete it by mistake because I'm clumsy. I'm a clumsy klutz. So my choice is quite a versatile Australian actor, and she's been in quite a few things, done quite a bit, kind of serious roles, comedy roles, drama. It is Melissa George.
Oh, okay.
So she's in 30 Days of Night, Amityville Horror.
Oh, where I miss her. Where is she?
I think she's doing a TV show, I believe. I think I checked her IMDb and I think she's doing like a...
I mean, they might go and have kids and have like a little bit, do a bit of theatre. You never know.
Who knows? Might come back. She's also in, I think her best film is Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen Triangle, yeah. Yeah, that's good.
I've not seen it I've only seen it the once.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I remember being like, holy crap, this is dark.
It's a tightly written film and it's well performed.
It's more psychological, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this weird, I don't want to spoil it, but it is a kind of a time loop thing. And they keep reliving like this over and over again. And there's this killer after them and they're like, what is this? And it's, I think there's things saying, is this kind of a purgatory kind of thing? Or are they in the kind of Bermuda? I think they call it like, I think they're going in the Bermuda Triangle. I think so. I think something weird goes on anyway.
Yeah.
But she is fantastic. She goes on such a journey in that film, such a roller coaster of ups and downs. And and it is very much a blood, sweat and tears type movie. And it's very brutal and very full on, and it's quite disturbing as well. It really it got me hooked. There's not many like horror films that I'm nailed to my seat and just watching, and that was one of them. And she's just...
It's a tough ride.
Yeah, I was exhausted by the end of it, definitely. But it's quite good. I think she's another one that takes these roles quite seriously as well. Like, it's not just like a flash in the pan type thing. It's not like, I'll do this and I'll get, my next Oscar-worthy film. Like, I watched Turistas, which is in, where they basically go to Brazil and then they get kind of kidnapped into this kind of organ transplant thing.
Yes, yeah.
And she actually learned Portuguese while she was filming. But yeah, I mean, like we said, she's able to, again, she could easily move away from these roles. I think she has done in later years, but they are, I mean, you've done them. They are kind of, these scream queen roles are quite strenuous on your vocals, mentally, physically.
Oh, like Lupita Nyong'o on, Us, John Peel's Us. When I heard her, the other her, I could not believe that was her voice. I was thinking, that must be another actress, but then I was like, why would they hire in another? I just couldn't see them bringing in just a voice actress just for that role. And then when I read afterwards that she had like 3 different kind of vocal coaches on set with her to make sure that she wouldn't damage her voice.
Doing it.
Like just doing, it's incredible. Yeah. It's just honestly...
I saw Get Out, but I've not seen Us yet.
Oh, right, okay, well I won't say any more.
I'll say any more.
But yeah, she's brilliant. I think she should definitely get a bit of a nod.
Some nods
for that.
We need more nods, I think. A lot more nods need to be going towards the horror,
absolutely.
Doing the horror stuff. But I always feel like she has a very quiet, kind of reserved strength in these movies. And she kind of holds herself in a way, even when you can see like she's absolutely devastated in what's going on, what's happening to her. But she kind of holds it in, and then it all like comes out right at the end in the kind of dramatic finale, and she just, lets loose this.
Well, she plays, I think, she's a mother in quite a lot of them, isn't she? And I think
she's a mother in Triangle as well,
Yeah, mother in Triangle, mother in the Amityville
horror.
And I think, that's rarely done where it's a mother as the scream queen. Because obviously you're going to have that.
It's the virginal thing again, isn't it?
Yeah, over your children, and that protection over your children. And I think that probably would give you more of an edge, to be honest, because you're not just fighting for your life, you're fighting to save the family as well.
Exactly, it's that the kind of maternal instinct. And that kind of fire comes out. I know I wouldn't want to corner my own mum at any point. So I can definitely see that. But yeah, highly recommend. If you're going to watch any other films, Triangle is the one. But I think she's a phenomenal talent and deserves to be in more things and be lauded for all of the work she does. So that was my number 3. So moving on to your number 2.
So this might be a bit of a controversial one. I don't know if people
I like this.
But I think she is a scream queen. I think, not even just from a filmography, but just for the role she plays in these movies is just kind of... Right, well, anyway. So my next scream queen is Toni Collette.
Okay.
So Australian as well.
Okay.
So
Muriel's Wedding.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
I mean,
really?
that's the horror classic,
But yeah, I know. So obviously she played the mum in The Sixth Sense, which was just never been done before. And I just always remember watching her. And she's going through it because it's her son, Cole, that she has no idea what's really happening. Yeah. She just doesn't, like, her family's kind of been torn apart. Like, a little boy is really ill. He's getting shit at school and she doesn't know what the fuck's going on. But she's brilliant in that. And there's a scene that I always remember with her when she sat in the car with him and they're stuck in traffic because there's been an accident. And he says, like, oh, it's the woman got knocked off the bike. And then, and he just finally tells her. She's just fantastic. And there's a bit about the ballet recital and the bumblebee pendant and, like, that. And she just knows then. But yeah, so loved her in that. She was in the Hitchcock movie as well, which I think was the TV movie, Fright Night remake. Krampus. Have you ever seen Krampus?
You know what? No, I'd love to.
It's brilliant. It's I thought it was just going to be a comedy, like a horror comedy, but there's some bits in it, and I was literally like, "Holy shit! No, that's really scary." Like, there's some really creepy bits in it. But she plays the mum in that, so again, looking after the family. But it's hilarious because they've got like the relatives over for the Christmas holidays. And everyone's just a bit of an asshole, basically. Like, the kids are assholes.
Sounds like every Christmas.
And you just think, what's going to happen here? And the Krampus is like the opposite to Santa Claus, isn't it? And it's like this weird
anti-Claus, if you will.
Anti-Claus, yeah. This kind of goat demon with massive hooves and chains, and it's just fantastic, honestly. It sounds awful, but it's brilliant. Like, the toys come to life. And
oh, mate, I'm sold.
He's got, like, instead of, like, little elves like Santa has, he has, like, these goblins that come down the chimney and wreak havoc. And, like, people die in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like people get away with things. Like, this next film, Hereditary.
Oh,
Ari Aster's Hereditary.
Again, not seen. I saw Midsummer.
Oh, brilliant.
Saw Midsummer, but I haven't seen Hereditary yet.
It's interesting because I saw Hereditary first and then went to see Midsummer, and I think, I did the stupid thing and I watched every single trailer there was, and I basically
expected something.
Yeah,
you didn't
get. But I think had I not watched everything, I would have been over the moon with it. But it was still brilliant. But Hereditary is, again, psychological horror. I think what Ari Aster does is he takes things that are safe, like family home, and he makes them not safe anymore. And that's kind of like
I can definitely see that. Yeah, I can see that in Midsummer a lot.
Yeah, of course. The themes in that are just intense. But yeah, Toni Collette's performance in Hereditary, I genuinely thought she would have been nominated for an Oscar. Yeah. I think she was absolutely fantastic. And what I think of when I think of Hereditary is this face that Toni Collette's pulling, like in the film. But it's brilliant. I don't want to give too much away because you've not seen it.
You're doing very well not to spoil any of these movies for me, I have to say.
There's so many things that I want to say, but she's fantastic.
Everyone will know what you're talking about. They'll be up on that. They'll be up on that stuff.
Like the scene with the car, the scene with
the scene with the thing.
Yeah. She's brilliant, and she goes through a hell of a lot in this movie, and her performance is just ridiculous. It's just phenomenal. And I love that someone asked her, because it's that intense. Someone asked her after a screening, like, "Oh my gosh, how did you deal with putting yourself through that, blah blah blah?" And she just turned around and she went, "Well, it's only a movie." Like, I could just picture her, like, she's just like, it's just acting. It's like, why don't you try acting, my boy?
I've always known, I used to make a joke. I was like, "Oh, Toni Collette's in this. Does she play somebody that's a bit weird?" And in all seriousness, she plays a lot of characters that have this kind of mental kind of fragility. And I think and she does it to a T. Like, all credit to her. She does it to an absolute T. I'm like, it's a very believable. It's not like, "I'm crazy." It's very like, I'm seriously mentally ill. Or I've probably, like, About a Boy. She's in About a Boy, isn't she?
Oh, she's brilliant in that.
And she's great in that. And these Muriel's Wedding as well, things like that. She plays these very kind of vulnerable, mentally fragile characters, and that's what she does, But it's cool that she can go across the genres. She can be in, like, is it In Her Shoes with Cameron Diaz? And
she also did Velvet Buzzsaw. I don't know if you watched that recently with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I've not. It looked interesting, though. Killer Paintings?
Killer Paintings, yeah. I think I liked it. But I don't know if they lost halfway through what they wanted the movie to be. If that makes any sense.
They didn't know how to
like,
end
wait, is this a comedy? Is this an art house film? Is it a thriller? Like, it just kind of felt a little bit lost.
Looks like a literal art house film.
Yeah. And maybe it would have worked better as a TV series.
Could do. I mean, it's on. Is it Netflix? Film?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. But I'd definitely give it a watch. Yeah. But yeah, just for performance in Hereditary alone and to Krampus, it's great. Honestly, watch it this Christmas.
I definitely will. I'm very much into my alternative Christmas films.
Oh, if you want another great Christmas horror, You Better Watch Out.
You Better Watch Out, okay.
Yeah, it's a babysitter, babysitting gone wrong, and you'll never watch Home Alone the same again.
Okay.
That's all I'm
I think I might have it, I think I've got it, and it's just waiting for that time of year. Very good, very good. I think that was a very good shout. Maybe not your quintessential screen queen, but I think the shame. I'm a bit ashamed that I didn't notice the T-shirt you're wearing until now. Roisin's T-shirt says "Scream Queen" on it.
I think it's meant to be like a pajama top or something, but I love it. It's fine. Yeah.
I mean,
I need to get a new Halloween one this year. I'm going to Heels of Hell, which is a night on the 29th of October at the Ritz in Manchester, and it's got about 7 of my favourite drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race going to be there.
And it's like horror themed.
Yeah, because it's all the kind of gothy, dark kind of drag queens like Sharon Needles, which I think is a great.
I think we watched it in Edinburgh Fringe, with Sharon Needles.
That was Sharon Needles, Alaska, I'm very fucking excited. But there's a top that I want to get that says "Hello Queen."
Oh,
so I'm like, yes, I've got to get that.
Definitely. I saw the first episode of UK one last night.
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It was a bit different, but I was like, they're really going full on for the UK vibe.
Yeah.
I was like, the Queen. Sure.
I don't think a lot of people outside of the UK will get some of the any of the references,
or understand half the accents. I think.
No, I think everyone's been watching it with subtitles.
I think even we did. Okay, moving on to it's my number 2, isn't it? So I'm going to go with another kind of actor, much like Barbara Crampton, who.
Right.
Wait.
That was a great.
Oh, I thought you said what?
Wait.
I thought, wait. I was like, what? Oh, no, great.
Go on.
So it's a lot like Barbara Crampton, who has kind of dipped her toe in the genre a little bit early on in her career and then came back to it in a big way. And it's Shawnee Smith.
Yes.
So Shawnee Smith is from the 1988 remake of The Blob. She's in that. And in several...
She must be so young in that, right?
Oh, she is. She's
like
proper cheerleader, yeah.
Oh.
But I think she ages well, though. Again, much like Barbara Crampton.
Yeah.
As an age
it's
today.
This genre. This is why I want to get into
keep it young.
Keep the blood pumping into my face.
I'm so young. That's it. Maybe they're all just, like we said, maybe they're all just ghosts just floating about. We're immortal now. The cinema. She was in Saw, a lot of the Saw films, and she's also the host of the reality show Screen Queens as well, which had James Gunn as a host or a judge.
Yeah,
as well.
There's a couple. There was some. I saw someone recently who was like a guest judge. It was another Screen Queen. It's Debbie Rochon.
Rochon. Yeah.
The only reason why I want to give her a special mention is because on IMDb she's done the most horror films.
Really?
With 145 horror films
Wow.
she's been in. So she was a guest judge on that.
Well, there you go. Well, she's the best person to do it. I think she's been in a lot of trauma stuff. I think a lot of the trauma stuff, which is just gore upon gore and bad taste and all those things. I watched Poultrygeist. Which is probably one of the most offensive films I've ever seen. No. It's so offensive. Gosh. If you're okay with being offended, no matter who you are.
Turn into zombie chickens?
They do, yes, they do.
Yeah,
they do. And there's a bit where they grow two eggs like breasts, and then the birds come out of the eggs. And
I think I've seen clips of it.
Yeah. It's quite the watch, I have to admit. It's but yeah, if you're easily offended, definitely don't watch any of the trauma films anyway. But yes, Shawnee Smith. Going back to Shawnee Smith,
the TV show that she did, I think the winner won a part in one of the Saw films. I'm sure it was the girl who had to cut her arm off.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that. So the winner of that, because they were all actresses.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm sure even one of the challenges they had to scream, and give their best scream. But
and then throw blood in their mouth. Things like that.
But that was, it was good for Shawnee to do that. So that she was like winner rolling franchise.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's going to be at that for the Love of Horror with Tobin Bell.
Tobin Bell, who was Jigsaw from Saw. Yeah, brilliant. But it's quite, you kind of, between Saw and like the Blob, you can see kind of developed her skills. You can see that there's quite a lot of, because the character I think in Saw is kind of like a junkie or like a drug addict or something, and then she kind of turns her life around.
She gets out.
She's the only survivor.
Beats the game.
Yeah. So
and then ends up working for him.
Spoilers. Yeah. But
to be honest, you get a bit lost by they cast the same looking men in the Saw films.
Do they? Again, I've only seen the first 2 now.
Right, well, but by the time you get to like 4 and 5, you're like, but wait,
silly.
I thought you were
dead.
Yeah. And you're like, oh no, that was the other guy. So who the fuck are you then? And it's quite confusing because all the cast look very similar. And I don't know if that was a choice.
Maybe.
To make it confusing, but yeah, there's a...
I mean, it can be confusing, I think. I think Saw 2 is supposed to have like 5 different endings, apparently, before they even chose one. So.
Yeah, because you find out, I think like 6 is actually between the films 1 and 2.
Oh, really?
And
that does get confusing. Yeah. Well, I've not delved into
Let
fully.
It die.
Yeah, I've not delved in that far. I've just seen the first one and the second one. But I think the Blob was great. I really love the special effects in the Blob. Yeah. There's all this kind of...
This is the thing. I really think that horror and just movies in general should really not have to use CGI unless there's no way they can do it, because there's something about these horrors in like the 80s and 90s that they didn't have CGI, so they had to make it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just makes it even creepier, like with the Thing,
yeah,
like
exactly, yeah.
the alien, like that they create. It's like, how the heck did they do that? I'm like, Return of the Living Dead, and there's so many. Yeah, I just think they're missing a trick there. I
think in The Walking Dead they marry the two quite well. They use a lot of practical, and then they'll have all practical kind of like zombie effects, but then they'll like digitally remove an arm.
Yeah, like in Game of Thrones, like they'll give the White Walkers, they'll put like a green sleeve on their arm and paint bits of them green so they can get rid of it.
And they'll do that. And I think there's a world that we can use both. I think there's, and I don't think there's necessarily this war or there has to be this war between them. I think you find you marry them together in the best way. But also, I think a lot of people complain of like bad CGI and stuff and bad effects and all that. Yeah. I think a lot of it is the way you shoot it as well. Yeah. I think it's the camera work you do. Mm-hmm. You can hide it in certain ways, like like Spielberg did with Jaws. There's ways to mask and editing and cutting around it and things like that.
I was watching just really quickly before I get back to Shawnee. Sorry, Shawnee. I was watching an interview with Rob Zombie he was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, nice.
Because obviously he's just done 3 from Hell and Devil's Reject.
Sid Haig just died as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he was meant to be For the Love of Horror with Bill Moseley, so we're really gutted about that. But there's going to be a nice tribute for him, and I think he's signed some things already, so we might get something like that. Yeah. But Rob Zombie was saying in the Halloween remake, he worked with the little boy from Spy Kids.
Yes, yeah, he's the bully, isn't he? He's one of the bully kids,
the bully, and he was saying like when this kid was working on Spy Kids. He was acting to a green screen most of the time, and they were like, right, just react to whatever's there. And he's like, but what is it? Is it a monster? Yeah. Is it my mum? Like,
react.
How? Yeah, so I think unless you really need to do it, like maybe just...
I like it when they, fair enough, they do like green screen and stuff, but I like it when they make like a physical version of something that's going to be a CG character. Like they made like a full-scale Hulk. So they're like, imagine
that's
this is
how big he's going to be.
That's the height. That's the width of his arms. That's what you can expect from when you imagine it.
That's
exactly. From an actor's perspective, you need.
But it's like a ping pong ball.
Yeah, you're like that's Thanos. Oh no. Okay, sure. But I think it does help. Like from the acting perspective, I think you definitely need just a little bit of something to kind of ground you in that in the realness of the scene. I really, really like the scene in Saw 2 where she falls into the pile of needles.
Ouch! Yeah, that's a dark one.
Oof, yeah, so the Jigsaw wants them to find a specific needle within a pile of needles, like a needle in a haystack, and it's supposed to be this one guy it's like his game. Yeah. But he's like this evil drug dealer, and he throws her in, and she's like, again, a drug addict.
She's trying to help them, isn't she? And he goes, exactly. You can do this. And
he throws her in, and she's like, ah. And weirdly, apparently a real needle did fall in that pit for real. So they had to literally like pull out, they had to do the game, pull out every needle and find the one that was real. Can you imagine?
No.
So yeah, it's just horrendous, and you feel every second of her she starts really she's tearing through them as well, and you're just like, oh, how much pain must be. And they're not clean needles either; they are dirty needles, dirty needles. But yeah, I think she's one of these has a cool reserve, but can spin on a dime and give you like just full on rage.
She's got great access to her emotions, hasn't she?
0 to 11, instantly, and I think that's very hard to do, just in general. And the fact that she can go 0 to 60, if you will, is an incredible talent, and I think she's just brilliant all over. So yeah, Shawnee Smith, definitely check her out. Is there anything else I want to say about her? again, a survivor in the kind of genre in the franchise, and that's basically what the Saw movies are about, is survival.
Like what happens with her character throughout the movies, it's kind of like that saying that you can die a hero, or you live long enough to see a villain. So she gets a bit too attached to Jigsaw, shall we say? But yeah.
There you go. So that was my number 2. Yeah. So rolling on to your number. Is your number 1? This is your number 1,
yeah.
Right?
So shall I do any special mentions now before top ones revealed? Or shall we do this
if you want, I mean, I can do mine as well if you'd like. I can do. I'll tell you what. You do your special mentions, do your number 1, and then I'll do my special mentions, do my number 1. We'll do it that way.
So just some special mentions is an actress called Danielle Harris.
Yes,
because she was in the original. I think it was Halloween 4 when she plays the little girl.
4, 5, and 6.
But it's not the same actress. As she gets older. But then she's also been in the Rob Zombies, Halloween. Up until the recent sequel, should we say, not a remake. Yeah. She was the only actor to have been in the original and the remake. She played a little girl, and she played the sheriff's daughter. Yeah. But she's also done.
And she was a child. She was a child in those early films as well.
Yeah, she was a child, like born into the Scream Queen.
Yeah, I mean it's very rare that you get like horror films now that, well, I think we're having a comeback now with Stranger Things and stuff. Yeah. But for a while there was not many horror films that had the protagonist as a child. Or many that even had them as adults. It was mostly like teens, mostly.
Yeah,
for the
definitely.
most part.
And she was in, I don't know if you've seen any of The Hatchet.
No, I've not, but I would like
Victor Crowley. It's interesting. Because, like, it's, to be fair, there's a few kind of horror legends in these movies, but they're just grotesque. Like, and he just can't be killed, and it gets a bit ridiculous. But if you're a big fan of horror films, you're going to enjoy them. It's fun.
I hear it's kind of like a retro callback to all those kind of classics and stuff. So.
But no, I just thought I'd give her a little mention.
Well, she's one of my honourable mentions as well.
Oh, was she? She was in Urban Legend as well. I think she played the goth girl that gets she gets killed whilst her roommate's in the room. She thinks she's having some rough sex. And she's like, how? And she's like getting killed.
And they're like, she's loving this.
Yeah, she just puts headphones in like, you're such a bitch. Yeah. Letting her get killed. She's in something else as well that I thought, oh yeah, of course. It's another like small part, but it's all within the horror genre. So I just think she's like a good good shout. Yeah, again, she's on my honourable mentions as well. Anybody else you want to mention? So Betty Gabriel, who was in Get Out, she played Georgina the maid in Get Out. She's fantastic. The bit where she's like, no. She's just fantastic. She's been in like the Purge films and like other horror films. Dee Wallace.
Yes, she's one of mine as well.
Yeah. Like again, I grew up watching
Howling,
her.
Critters,
E.T.
Yeah. I think she's another one of these kind of maternal characters.
Because she's in she plays the villain in The Frighteners as well with Michael J. Fox. Have you ever seen that?
I have, but it's been a while.
It's where he's like he can see ghosts and like they're friendly with him, so he kind of
It's like a buddy cop ghost thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But they're just a couple of.
I didn't realise it was her. She was the villain. I didn't realise it was her.
Oh well, that's a bit of a twist. Sorry, I shouldn't have really said that.
I've seen it though, so I must know it. So. Yeah. But yeah, brilliant. Any others?
I saw Ma recently with Octavia Spencer, and that was ace because I've watched Octavia for years, and she's always been kind of playing like the sidekick roles and the
comedy roles.
So it was brilliant to see her as like the antagonist, as like this character. It's fantastic. To be fair. It's a really good original idea. It's a really great concept, and she's just brilliant as a villain. Maybe she could play a villain more often.
Because again, it's like she's got that kind of that. You look at her and you think, oh, she's lovely. She must be a really nice lady.
I think she must be. If she could make a few more films in the horror genre, I think she'd be up and coming. Like
in the running for something. Yeah, it's kind of a new horror icon kind of thing.
And as well, like, do you remember? This is such a small part, but I thought it was one of the creepiest killings in the Scream franchise is Jada Pinkett Smith.
In the cinema? Yeah.
How horrible is that?
Yeah.
That's probably, like, that's just a nightmare because it's like when you're in a nightmare and you're screaming for help and everyone's just like, oh, like they think it's part of it.
You're like, oh, you're playing around, and she's like, I'm actually dying.
Yeah. There were some nods, and then obviously the woman, Debbie Rochon. With 145 horror
145 horror films.
Yeah.
God, I think I would be dead after that. Like, Jesus, that's too much.
Yeah, but
cool.
yeah, I think my number one, I think she's the reason why I've chosen her is because she's the epitome. When you say Scream Queen and her mother as well, you just think Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, of course.
And she did do Scream Queens, and she did the Halloween franchise, obviously. But then she was also in like Prom Night. She did The Fog.
Yeah. Prom Night, probably the scariest scene in Prom Night is when she does some disco dancing.
Yeah.
That's probably my favourite.
Oh, that's what I was going to say about Danielle Harris as well. She was in, do you know what? It's just Black Christmas.
Which
they are remaking again.
Again, yeah. That's it. I watched the trailer the other day. It looks very different.
Very different. I think it's been written and directed by a female this time.
Okay, that's cool.
I think they're like, I'm excited to see
this.
I think they've got something to say.
I really love the original. Like
it's so creepy.
It's so good. I think technically, it's kind of the original slasher because it was before Halloween.
It was. Yes, you're right.
And I think it had all those tropes before Halloween. Kind of nailed them.
I don't know what year was it, because Texas Chainsaw was before.
Yes.
The mob.
Yes.
I think it is.
I think I want to say.
Is it Black Christmas and Texas and
I think
Halloween?
It's Texas, Black Christmas, Halloween. I think Halloween's 79. I think Black Christmas 74, and I think Texas is 72.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that's within that kind of.
They're the first.
Those three for me are those like kind of defining. I mean, you could argue Psycho is the original.
And this is it with Jamie Lee, because obviously Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh.
Yeah.
Brilliant actors anyway.
Yeah,
Tony
exactly.
Curtis, I think I know him best for Some Like It Hot.
Yeah,
Daphne.
yeah.
But obviously Janet Leigh, just iconic.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that scene. She was the first, I don't know what you'd call it, when the star is killed off really early on.
Like the kind of Sarah Michelle Gellar type, or the Drew Barrymore. The Drew Barrymore type. I guess you've got the final girl, first girl. Could you say?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just it kind
surprise kill.
Yeah, it just kind of throws the audience off because they go, "Oh, great, it's Janet Leigh.
This is the film. This is what this
the
film.
protagonist.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to watch her, and then she gets killed, and they go, "Well, what the hell's going to happen?"
I find that a lot of the Hitchcock films is they start off as one film. You're like, okay, it's this crime drama or something, and then all of a sudden it's like the birds are attacking. It's like it comes out of nowhere. You're like, okay, it's this film now. It's kind of like Dusk Till Dawn. It's like it starts off as one thing, you get to the middle, you're like, okay, it's totally this thing, but I'm still okay with this thing, even though it's totally different.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, really. Well, I think Jamie Lee Curtis is brilliant. I watched her in Terror Train, which is a cool one. It's like a New Year's Eve party on a train, and the killer takes on the costume of the people they kill. Yeah. So it keeps kind of moving throughout. So it's kind of like a nice whodunit as well.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
What's the woman? Like Murder Mystery on a Train.
Murder on the Orient Express.
I was never going to say the Polar Express.
Polar Express. No, that's a very different movie. I don't think there's any murders on that.
No. But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's just fun. She's just brilliant. And I'd waited, when I heard that they were going to do the sequel to the Halloween, and just kind of just forget everything else you've seen. Because he is quite supernatural as a killer, Michael Myers, because he gets shot a bunch of times and he survives. But I think the way they went with all the sequels, like I'm not knocking them, but it was like he was became more of a like a Jason Voorhees type. Unkillable. Unkillable. And she did obviously the Halloween H2O, which is when
that's a good film.
It was good.
That's a good film.
Like that one.
You could have ended it there. Because there's several different like Halloween timelines now. So there's the latest one, which is just Halloween and the new Halloween.
They said, and there's loads of little nods to all the other films.
There is,
Halloween 3, which has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's Season of the Witch, because originally that's what he wanted to do.
It's like an anthology.
Yeah, he wanted to go. It's just a bunch of movies that just so happen to be set on Halloween, but because Michael was so popular with audiences, they had to bring it back. But the sequel that they made that came out last year, that was what I'd been waiting for ever since I'd seen the first one. I was like, that's it. And now they're bringing out 2 more films.
Yeah, with John Carpenter on the
everyone's back. But I love the fact it's is it Danny McBride?
Yeah, Danny McBride.
Comedy actor.
Yeah.
Who's like,
he wrote he kind of sort of wrote the newest Alien film as well. I think he had a hand in it.
Really?
With Ridley Scott, and that's why he's in it, I think, as well. But I think I enjoyed the Halloween film more than the Alien film.
Yeah.
I loved that it was all about this kind of, this trauma had kind of a trickle-down effect for the whole family.
Yeah, and you see what she would have actually been like, had because it's just, that trauma.
Yeah. I like that they reenact a lot of the shots of Michael Myers as her. Like, she's become this mentally disturbed woman because of this trauma, and again, she's not had a good relationship with her daughter. She's not had a good relationship with her granddaughter. She just can't handle it. She breaks down at dinner, you know. But again, it's very much that, you know, that sisterhood thing, and then they confront their demons by confronting him.
There's a brilliant bit at the end where the daughter is stood there with a shotgun and she goes, Mom, I can't do it, I can't do it. And he gets to the top of the stairs and she goes, got ya.
Yeah,
like,
boom. Yeah, amazing. Really good. I like some people didn't really enjoy that one, but I got a lot out of it.
I got a lot out of it. That was all I'd ever wanted. Yeah. Honestly. That's
it. Call it a day.
I'm such a big fan of that. So I'm interested to see what they are going to do with the next two films. But I think they're bringing the kids back. Do you know, the ones that she's babysitting in the original?
Right, okay. So they're grown up.
Yeah,
right, okay.
Yeah, so they're bringing the original cast back for that, which is great.
That's interesting.
And I think it's the lad, do you know the one he played, I can't remember his name, but he played, I think it's something C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall?
Not Dex, is that Dexter?
Maybe.
It's the lad, he plays the bully in Edward Scissorhands, and he's a geek and everything else, and you just kind of go,
I can't remember his name.
But yeah, he's being brought back as a little boy.
That's interesting.
And then
I've not heard much about the sequel. I've just heard that the Carpenter's coming down back for the music.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty much all he does nowadays. I think he just does kind of the music for stuff. He's got a comic book coming out, funnily enough.
Has he?
He's written a one-off Joker comic book, John Carpenter, which I have pre-ordered because I was like, I've got to read that.
Are you going to go see Joker?
Yes, very soon. On Tuesday, I'm going to go see it. So it's a controversial film, to say the least, but I think I have to see it.
Yeah.
I can't not see it.
Yeah.
So I'll just have to wait and see for that one. But moving on to my number one. So you mentioned Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I'm going to bring up the woman that was put through hell in that movie.
And was making the movie.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. Marilyn Burns.
Yeah.
So she's in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Eaten Alive, which is not very good, unfortunately. It's not very good. She's basically tied to a bed for the whole film. Unfortunately. Okay. And she's also in Helter Skelter, which is about Charles Manson. I think she's arguably maybe the first Scream Queen, like we were saying, like the timeline kind of fits that way. Jamie Lee Curtis, that is kind of her title anyway.
It's just who you picture.
Yeah, exactly. The second I hear that word, those words, I go, Jamie Lee Curtis every time. But I think this is when I think, you know, what's great about Texas Chainsaw Massacre is everybody dies quite quick.
Yep.
Like within half an hour of the film, pretty much everybody's dead apart from her. Yeah. And she has to deal with everything. She's outnumbered. She has no resources. She's got, she's injured. She's slashed. She's cut.
And she was in the making of it. I think at one point, didn't she get a razor? Like,
I think so, yeah.
Smashed her finger with a razor.
There's a bit where she's being hit with a broom, and they were like, stop pretending to hit her with a broom. Really hit her with the broom because it looks fake. Oh my so they really hit her with the broom.
With the grandpa with the hammer, like apparently that's a real hammer.
Yeah, and kind of caught her head and stuff. Yeah. I think it was obviously very extreme filmmaking.
They say it was made on like a shoestring budget, but I think it was still like 500,000.
Yeah, it's still quite.
Dollars.
It's still.
Yeah.
You need some money to do stuff, but
it was based on Ed Gein as well. Wasn't it?
Much like Psycho and Silence of the Lambs as well, all based on Ed Gein to some degree.
Oh yeah, of course. I didn't think Psycho.
Yeah, Psycho was. I mean, it was kind of. I think a few years after Ed Gein, but they decided the creepier aspect was to make it the boy next door, as opposed to the weirdo on the edge of town. Yeah. So they were like, no, we'll make it the boy next door because you wouldn't suspect that. And then obviously Silence of the Lambs, he makes the suits.
Yeah.
And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, make all the mask and the lampshades and all that other stuff. Which
they're remaking Texas
again.
It's did you say Fede or Fede Alvarez who did Evil Dead?
Breathe. Okay. So it could be good. Could be pretty good then.
That's what I would say because it's done pretty well so far. I
thought the Evil Dead remake was really good actually.
I do. I think it's
very different, but I like it. But yeah, I think Marilyn Burns is just like you said. She went through hell on the set and in the film, and you can tell, and she screams constantly. She's constantly screaming. Like for me, she wins the Scream Queen contest because she's just constantly screaming throughout that film.
Yeah.
And who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? It's such a disturbing idea to have, and
it gives me the creeps still. Like when I watch that film, so just think that could be bloody happening right now, and we'd have no idea.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's the terrifying aspect of it. And what's interesting about Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well is, a lot of these horror films we see the women get the revenge, don't we? We see them, they kill them off or disable them or they get sent to jail in some form. The creepy thing about this doesn't happen.
No, she just manages to get away.
She manages just to get away, and
back of a bloody
and she's still screaming, and then she got away, and then she does this kind of maniacal laugh. She's like, I got away.
I've seen a gif of her like laughing off the back of the van. It's like when you get out of work early.
Yeah. that is spot on. Yeah, but I think she's just it's just a heck of a film. Still, I watched it the other day. I hadn't watched it in years, and it's just still as kind of stark and as gritty and grim as it's ever been.
Yeah.
And harrowing, just a harrowing kind of affair. And
she's no longer with us, I believe. Is she?
No, she passed away I think 2015, I want to say. But she was, that film will live on.
Yeah.
She actually returned to the franchise twice, actually.
Did she?
Yeah, she was in the one with, I think it's called Beyond the Next Generation, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Is that the one with Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey?
It is that one. I think she turns up
How
as...
random, by the way.
I know, right? So they've clearly moved on to better things, quote unquote better things. Yeah. But she also turned up in I think it's one of the remakes, I think.
So this is where I get confused, because I've seen them all, but then I'm like, which one was which? Because obviously there was the 3D one.
Yeah.
There was the one where
I think it was 3D, I think.
Was it?
Yeah,
I think so. There's one where she turns out to be his cousin, the girl with the really blue eyes. What's her name?
Oh God, I love her.
She's gorgeous.
Alexandra Daddario.
Yes. Yeah.
She is, I think, one of the most gorgeous women.
She's brilliant.
And talented, obviously, but
no, but she's stunning.
She's
when I saw her,
her,
I was like, holy hell. But so she turns out to be his cousin, and it's like really...
Yeah, it's very much...
At the end, she's like, kill him, cuz, at the end. And I'm like, oh, you had me until that point.
Yeah.
But then they're doing... there's been like Leatherface, which is a prequel. There's an actor called Sam Strike in that. You started off with EastEnders.
I'd like to watch that one, because
it's all right.
Seems interesting.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, I think. I enjoyed it, and they're really clever as well, because I can't tell you. It's just you think someone is someone, and then you go, he can't be him.
Oh, is it? Is it the policeman? No, is it something else? Something else. No. Sorry, I'm thinking of one of the other remakes.
Basically, they don't say who Leatherface actually is.
Oh, okay. So it's a kind of a mystery thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking of the one.
They're all kids. It's all like.
Oh right. Right. Sorry.
Like
Sorry. I was thinking like one of the remakes.
Yeah.
I think I was thinking.
There is one that follows.
Yeah. There's it's Arlie Ermey, who's the drill sergeant in.
He's oh my gosh, his filmography is ridiculous. He's either a sergeant, like a drill sergeant, a vet.
He's just military.
All of his filmography is just military, and he's done like 80 things.
Well, I think he used to be in military.
Yeah, he was.
He was in the military. He was a drill sergeant, and that's why he's so good in Full Metal Jacket.
He just plays the same character. Just like
and it works because he's so good at it. And he was a military advisor, and then he started doing films, and he's even in like his voiceover is in X-Men 3. Weirdly enough,
cartoons. He's done loads of
all sorts of stuff. He's brilliant.
Cool.
I think he's one of the... I don't think he's with us any longer either.
No, I don't think he is.
What else did I wanted to say?
Any more special mentions?
I didn't do my special mentions as well. No, so I'll go on to my special mentions, but I think she has a quintessential... About Marilyn Burns as well. She has like a quintessential like 70s look as well.
Yes.
It's so very 70s.
Yes.
And I think that really kind of... It's almost like, like a found footage film almost. Because it is kind of quite cheaply made and stuff.
Well, because I think you can't, if you use like all the high quality equipment that we've got now, like Red Epics and whatever cameras, you're not ever going to get that same grainy vibe. So you have to shoot in like 16mm film, and I think which was what Rob Zombie films in.
Yeah, I think so.
But because it just adds that gritty, pretend this could really happen. This could have just been filmed.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. This is not like a snuff movie.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, there's that element to it, though. You're right. There is that element to it. Honourable mentions. So, you mentioned already 2 that I had. So, Danielle Harris.
Yeah.
From Halloween and the Hatchet franchise. Dee Wallace from Critters, The Howling. I'd like to mention Adrienne Barbeau. She's in Creepshow and The Fog.
Yes.
Yeah, she's really, really cool. She was also Catwoman in Batman the Animated Series. She's got she's got an amazing voice. Like she's also in a Swamp Thing, the original Swamp Thing movie, which is terrible. But that is what it is. And Asia Argento, who's in
Dario Argento's daughter.
Yeah, you know it. And she's in like Triple X and all that other stuff. But yeah, she's brilliant. I kind of want to mention a few male scream queens, technically. So technically, I think they said that Bruce Campbell was kind of technically a scream king or scream queen, if you will, like one of the first male ones, because he is. That first film, he's screaming. You know, Evil Dead 2, he's comically screaming throughout as well. Cutting his own hand off and everything. I also wanted to mention Mark Patton, who is the star of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, who has just released or soon to release a documentary called Scream, Queen, because he was the first kind of openly gay actor to play a kind of male, the archetypal scream queen role as a male.
I think in It Chapter 2, Bill Hader, his character, they don't actually. I think they come out at the end and say that he's gay, but they don't like.
It's not.
I don't think they outright say it. Do they?
He never kind of reveals it, but his reaction to his friend dying is quite extreme.
But he's wearing like a camel coloured shirt with little like brown crosses on it, and someone pointed out that Mark is wearing that in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, really?
Too. So that's like a little nod to
a gay character, because they've kind of the gay scene have kind of adopted this film as kind of, because basically in the film he's Freddy's kind of coming out of him, if you will, and he's worried about, you know, he's got a girlfriend and everything, but he's worried about releasing that, you know, that inner demon and getting involved, and he, you know, ends up in a gay bar and things like that. There's loads of kind of nods and winks to kind of gay culture and being gay and stuff, but it also affected him kind of because there was a lot of around the times, obviously, like the AIDS scare and things like that. So it affected his career, and he quit acting as well, and he blames the writer of it. So it sounds like a really interesting documentary.
I'd love to see that.
But he does this document. He goes to like conventions. He does like the cheesy dance and stuff like that. Loads of like drag shows and stuff. So I think that'll be really interesting when that does come out. I'll definitely check that out. But I think we're done.
Oh, can I just mention one more first?
No, you cannot.
No,
of course you can.
Because we've done like the big kind of franchise queens.
Okay, go on.
There's obviously, is it Heather Langenkamp who was
from Nightmare on Elm Street,
and Felissa Rose, who was in the Sleepaway Camp movies. She plays Angela at the end, where it's I remember picture her.
I remember watching that and I was like, oh, I didn't see that twist coming. And I think your boyfriend Laurie, he messaged me and said, I love all these films. I was like, I can see why.
Yeah. Some brilliant quotes from Sleepaway Camp. I don't actually think it's Felissa Rose. No, it's not Felissa Rose in the second one, but
no.
There's one.
I'll tell you who it is. It's Bruce Springsteen's sister.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
believe it or not.
That's amazing.
She plays the same
She
part.
looks a bit like Shelley Duvall from
Shining.
A
little bit.
Bit of Death, where she pushes this girl's head in the toilet and she's like, do you know what that is? That's shit, because you're a shitty friend. And she chucks her in the toilet, there's leeches, and she's like keeping her down underwater with a stick, and she's covered in leeches and shit. And she's like, you're a leech! Like, this is terrible. It's great though.
There's that. I remember there was that creepy guy in the first film where she chucks like, was it boiling water on his face or something?
Oh, is it acid?
Is it acid or something?
I can't remember.
Yeah, some sort of chemical or boiling water. He's like, you can see all the blisters and boils and stuff. It was like, oh god, but he's like a paedophile anyway. So I was kind of like, yeah, you deserve it. So, you know, I'm just glad it didn't happen to me. But yeah. I think we're done. I think we covered everything. I think we covered, unless you want to come up with any more honourable mentions, you could do. So many like.
There's so many. I think we've got so many to come.
I know,
well.
Yeah. Again, we've got some up and coming people. I think will make their name in
Florence Pugh.
Yes.
Summer.
Oh my god! Like. I'm still not sure how I feel about the whole film of Midsommar. I'm still kind of undecided. It was a bit long. I do like the folk horror element, but if there's anything I can kind of praise in that movie, it's her. She is incredible. I know she's going to be in the new Black Widow movie.
Yeah, she's playing the sister, I think.
I think she's playing Yelena Belova, who is basically another Black Widow, a younger Black Widow, sort of like a replacement Black Widow. In the comics she was anyway, and then goes like super evil and weird. But so I think maybe that's the part she'll play, or maybe she'll start off as a friend and maybe more of a villain towards the end. Who knows? We don't know. But I'm really interested to see where she goes, because
I think she's going to be the next.
I mean, the opening to Midsummer was devastating, absolutely devastating.
How would you call it? Not transition, but when you start in the garage and the camera follows through the house and you see the parents and then you see the sister.
The phone's ringing.
I can just see.
Very haunting.
Yeah.
And I was like, after that, I was like, fuck, where's this film go now? I was like, fuck me. This is...
I love seeing Will Poulter in it as well. There's the kid with the eyebrows.
Didn't he do like CBBC?
I can't remember. No, he did Son of Rambo. And, and We're the Millers.
Yes.
With Jennifer Aniston. But anyway.
It's been great having you on.
Thank you.
Are you doing anything at the moment you want to like to promote or talk about?
I'm not really allowed to talk about.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing big at all. It's just like
you're just not allowed to mention it.
Little things.
Things coming up.
Hopefully, I think I've got a job in October, a job in November, and a job in December.
Sick. It's good.
I can live.
Yes,
Yay.
you can pay the bills. That's good. Where can people find you on the social medias?
Oh,
if they want to get in touch with you.
I'm on Twitter.
Twitter,
I think my Twitter name is @McCusker Roisin.
I think you're right. But
you probably have to spell that.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'll tag you in it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
If people want to find you, I'll tag you in it. So it's fine. Because even I'd struggle right now. You can find the podcast on Facebook. So it's @SecretBalls in the little search bar. Twitter, you can find me @Dan_balls. Instagram, it's Spider Dan Secret Boards, and the podcast is available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and many, many more. If you want to interact, make sure you use #PrepareForPrattle. Roisin, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's been brilliant. Would you like to come back?
Of course,
Fantastic. Well, we'll have to think of something else.
The rest of Shocktober.
Yes. Shockphobia first. Shockphobia first. Yes, it's going to be good. I've got it all booked up, so you'll have to listen. But thanks again, and thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you next time.